everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to shed some light on the art department. With us now is Miss Perkin, and she's one of the art teachers here at Elgin, and is kind enough to do this interview with us today. So to start off, how do you think taking art could contribute to a student's high school experience?
Well, obviously I'm biased, so I think everybody should take art. Definitely taking art is going to expand what you know about yourself. So you don't need any experience to get into any of the art classes, but as an artist myself, I know that you can learn tons about yourself. You can discover new things that you never thought you'd be able to make. And the art room is it's a relaxed environment. It's more social, so you have a lot of just kind of like freedom when you come in here to work on things. But also it is a place where you can work through ideas and concepts in ways that you can't do with other language, whether that is writing or science. You can actually work through your ideas with creativity and materials and paint. So it's a different experience that you're going to have in any other of the classes. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. We make it a lot of fun too.
Totally. Why did you yourself choose to be an art teacher?
Yes. Well, originally I was going to be an English teacher. I love creative writing, and I did a lot of writing. And so in university I was doing English classes and psychology originally, and I always sort of liked art, but I hadn't done a lot of it. And then one day I actually just decided to take a painting class for fun as an elective in university, and it actually changed my life. I talked to my students about how creative writing was something that I loved to do because you could just share your story. It was a very empowering thing to be able to write about your life. But then the day that I picked up a paintbrush and learned how to use it, I realized that art is another language that's incredibly powerful as well. And it can express things that are beyond just words. So that was that after, and then taking those classes, I decided this is what I wanted to do rather than just being an English teacher, which I still have a writing practice, but art became my passion. So then I went to Emily Carr, and then actually last year I just finished my Master's of Fine Arts degree as well. So yeah, thank you.
Could you share some of the projects you submitted in the past?
Oh, absolutely. So in the art program, I like to have a diversity of projects. So we're definitely going to work with all sorts of 2D mediums and 3D mediums. So I will take some and bring them into the camera zone. So this is a sculpture project that we did in one of the senior art classes. And it's done with books. So the students just figured out their design and worked with the actual book as the material and the platform, and then built onto it. There's tons of fantastic examples of these, like there's sharks coming out of them, there's planes coming out of these things. So yeah, that's one of them. I do ceramics in all of the regular art classes, but then I also run a ceramics course that's just sculpture and ceramics, which is one right now. Here we go, another little guy. Let's see, what else? This is the super soft movies. You might see them in the hall sometime. This is a grade 8 and 9 favorite. So there's all sorts. These guys have sometimes had like giant mohawks or guitars, and yeah, so look for those on the walls every year. And then tons of painting. So that's a work from one of my AP students from a few years ago, a mixed media work where she's mixed painting and then the feathers and other material into the work to bring it to life. And what else do we have? Other just kind of sculptures, little sculpture birdhouse going on there. You'll see these soon in the halls actually. And then, more paintings behind us. I love this little wall here. It's called the Legacy Wall. So grade 12s will make a painting to leave in the class. And so it's just different artworks that show their style or things they like to paint, and they leave it in the room to be their legacy after they graduate.
Cool. Would you say that art course is demanding regarding time outside of class?
I try and make it so that it's not actually that demanding outside of class. Mainly because the studio is such a productive place to be with your peers, making work together, problem solving together. So yeah, most of the projects that I have, we definitely complete them in class, or people are always welcome to come in at lunch or other times to finish them. Sometimes there's some research or planning that you have to do at home, but not so much. So yeah.
Do you think doing art helps with students' mental health?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of research on that. There's a field of art therapy. There's some really interesting things about art. I bet you guys didn't know that when you look at a painting, your brain does the same thing that you do when you're walking. So literally, our brains will change direction and start moving in different ways when we're even just looking at a painting. Yeah, and so doing art definitely, like I was saying before, it's a way to work through things and do it. It connects with the part of us that doesn't even have words sometimes. So the abstract emotional part of us, art is where you can really express those things in exciting and interesting ways.
Yeah. Now with COVID, has anything changed in the art classes?
Oh yes, it's changed everywhere. I think the biggest challenge is actually the classes when it's the online, partially online, just because, those kids are not getting the same amount of benefit as a full-time class, which is what's happening in all of the classes, but just missing out on studio time and having to do a lot of things at home, and not having the materials necessarily, and then just changing the curriculum so that I can be doing things that they can do at home, and when they're not here in the studio with the materials and the tools. So it's definitely changed it. Not for the better, but we roll with the punches, Yeah.
Are students expected to have a certain skill set when they enter the art class?
No, definitely not. Most of our art classes are at Elgin are general art classes, and we have a range. We have kids that actually do outside studio classes all the time, so you see an amazing skill level just because of all that time they're putting in. But I basically prepare the classes so that people can excel at any level, so that you can go into a project and learn some skills and develop some new techniques and express your own creativity if you're a new artist. And I want it to be really encouraging for people, and just that they would feel that they can take risks, and because it's kind of scary to try things for the first time. And then the kids that are more advanced can also jump in and be challenged at a higher level too.
Okay.
The only higher level class specifically is the AP class, so that's advanced placement. And those kids do need to come in with a certain amount of experience, and then they're actually doing university level in high school. That's what AP is. So they show me a portfolio before they come in. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What are some moments off the top of your head that are some of your favorite moments from the art class?
Oh, okay. Well, to be honest, I shared that funny story. I'll just share it again. That one day there's always wonky stuff going on in the art room. So one time I turned around and this kid I love him, amazing artist, super wild though all the time. And within 2 minutes, I turned around. He was in grade 8 at this point though. And he was doing this and yelling "Ah!" And he had covered himself in black paint. I don't even know how he did it so fast, but it was just hilarious. Some of my other favorite moments though are in our regular school years. I do a lot of gallery visits, artist studio visits. We have artists that come into the program. I do artist retreats in Pemberton for a few days. We go to Galliano and do printmaking in a studio there on the ocean. These are moments that are so wonderful and rich in the program because you're just away from the school too, and immersed in these other art environments, and getting to see artists, what they do, and talking to them and making art in new places, like professional studios. So those are definitely some of my highlights that I love and I look forward to again.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ms. Perkin, for enlightening us on the art department.
Thanks.
This was really great.
Bye, guys.